Probably the hardest part about having to cremate your grandma is ignoring the screams for help. Now, my grandma, she's a deeply religious woman. Used to make me and my brothers go to church with her all the time. Before going any further, I want to take one moment and share with you guys her favorite verse from Genesis. I can't dance. I can't talk. The only thing about me is the way that I walk. You don't get the reference, do you? You're in a land of confusion. So a little bit of sad news, everybody. I read backstage that Gwen Stefani has announced she has osteoporosis of the spine. So it turns out she's a hollow back girl after all. My wife and I were celebrating our 25th anniversary this year. Thank you. And I'm surprised we made it this far because her dad hates me. I'll put it to you like this. At our wedding, when they played Here Comes the Bride, he took a knee. To celebrate, we're actually going to take a 1-week rafting and camping trip, which confuses our entire family because she can't sleep outside at night because she's terrified of bears, and I can't swim. So to help her out, I got her one of those fancy weighted blankets, and to help me out, she bought me a weighted life jacket. We have 3 girls. Sydney is our oldest. She just came back from Indiana University. She brought back a few things, a boyfriend and opinions, and I am sick of them both. People have asked me how she decided to go to Indiana University, and we got it down to 3 colleges. Indiana University, home of the Hoosiers, Purdue University, home of the Boilermakers, and my alma mater, the Ivy Tech Community College. Home of the teen mom. So to help her make her decision, I took her to an IU versus Purdue football game. And she heard the IU alumni chanting, Hoosier! Then she heard the Boilermaker alumni chanting, Boiler up! And then she heard the Ivy Tech alumni chanting, popcorn, peanuts, cold beer, meth, popcorn, peanuts, cold beer, fentanyl. Paige is my middle daughter. She learned how to drive recently. That did not go so well. I spent 4 years in the military. I got out, no mental issues whatsoever. I spent 5 minutes in a Nissan Sentra with Paige May, and I wound up with PTSD. I still can't look out mailboxes on the side of the road without pissing in my pants. She hit a few things. Parked cars, trash cans, the senior aquatics class at the YMCA. And then we have little Riley. She's my baby girl. She's still my kid at heart. The other day she came up to me and she said, Daddy, will you play princesses with me? I can't tell her no. So I made her clean the house and I took her sisters to a party. Well, I was going to pump her full of NyQuil and dump her in the woods. Speaking of Riley, I got to brag on her for a minute. She placed 3rd in her 5th grade science fair competition. You guys know what that means? It means I placed 3rd in a 5th grade science fair competition. Oh, goodness. You know, my goal in life was just to have a better relationship with my kids than my dad had with us. Like when my kids ask for something for Christmas, I give it to them. You know, I'll give you a great example. When I was 5, Christmas, DeSoto, Illinois, all I wanted was Star Wars. You know what my dad got me and my brother? Boxing gloves. And he taught us a few things, you know. Couldn't teach me how to defend against the jab whatsoever. But he gave us a few lessons, and soon some of his coworkers started coming home. I was like, man, he's really proud of us. But then I noticed money changing hands. And then I realized my dad is funding my brother's college by letting him beat the crap out of me. And I'm not saying he played favorites, but this is how he would announce us to the living room to fight. The following competition is scheduled for 3 rounds. It is for the ultimate prize and joy, my love and affection. Making his way, the champion. He is ranked #1 in his 5th grade class. He has led this softball league and runs batted in, RBIs, and batting average. He is my pride and joy, my baby boy, Anthony the Assassin May. Should have adopted. And his opponent, making his way from the living room, from the kitchen, no surprise there, wearing the Wonder Woman underoos because he wouldn't specify what type he wanted, and I'll be damned if any boy of mine's wearing Aquaman. He is ranked 20th in his preschool class. He led the T-ball league in strikeouts. He is the mistake I made at Kentucky Lake. The unhappy accident, Ryan. Then he's giving me a pep talk. He's just like, all right, buddy, I know you've been training really hard. Thanks, Dad, but I need you to do me a favor, okay? Okay. I need you to take a dive in the 3rd. I'm preschool. I have no idea what the hell the 3rd is. I took a dive in the 1st. Then my brother has to go to community college. Anyway, so I turned 50 recently. Oh, God, no, we don't clap for that. It is awful. The day I turned 50 was like the day my car hit 100,000 miles. You know, you wake up the next day and there's fluid leaks everywhere. The exhaust is making terrible noises. Wife's talking about upgrading to something foreign, preferably German. Oh, man, the doctor's appointments are getting weird. The amount of things that are going up my butt nowadays have gone up astronomically. I've had fingers up there, cameras up there, Tide Pods. These TikTok challenges are getting out of hand. Oh, man. When my doctor found out I was 50, he gave me a gift, Viagra, free samples. Weird thing, though, is the side effects. Like, one thing I did not know was the extreme migraines that you would get from Viagra. For some reason, every time I've taken a Viagra, my wife gets one. I had a doctor's appointment recently. It did not go well. And everybody's like, well, Rick Shocker there, Ryan. My A1C is through the roof. So even if my jokes aren't killing tonight, at least my pancreas is. Now, he sent me to a website, diabetes.org, and a window popped up. Bring! Do you accept cookies? Yes. Bing! What about pie? Stop judging me, website. So he put me on a plant-based diet, and the plant I chose was owned by Frito-Lay. It hasn't been all that bad, turning 50. There's some great things about it. Like, now I get to use a product called ColoGuard. You know what that means? It means I get a crap in a box, and I get to mail it to somebody. Finally. When you're 25, you crap in a box and mail it to somebody. It's a felony. Great way to break up with your girlfriend. Still a felony. But now it's a medical procedure. I've lost 30 pounds since January. Yeah. You know what? No one's noticed. Do you know how fat you have to be to lose 30 pounds and no one not notice? Yeah, and it's great, but there are some drawbacks to it. Like, I've got excess skin flaps that are irritating. Like, I got this thing right here. My kids call it a turkey neck. My coworkers call it a throatum. Even worse, I'm tired of taking my nipples on my armpits every 5 minutes. Oh, but I wasn't born here in Indianapolis. I actually lived in Destoa, Illinois for a couple of years, and we moved here in 1980. And about 3 weeks after moving here, I went to get a haircut with my mom. And I came back, and my dad had fallen asleep on the floor because his back bothered him. And I look up, and it's 3 o'clock. I had just discovered the joy that was Woody Woodpecker. He was watching the Cubs game, so I snuck ever so stealthily past my dad, and I went to the television. And for those of you born after 1990, the television didn't have a clicker, right? It had 2 dials on it. One that had the numbers 2 through 13 and a letter U, and then another dial that said 14 through 3,296. And Woody Woodpecker was on 2,394. And so I went to turn it. And funny thing about these TVs back then is when you turn them really fast, they made the exact same sound as an AK-47. Which when you have a sleeping Vietnam veteran with PTSD sleeping on the floor, is a horrible combination. Because when he heard the sound of his enemy's weapon going off, he sat up, glassy-eyed, and looked at me and went, "Charlie!" And he punched me right in the face. And when I woke up, Woody Woodpecker was over, my eye was swollen shut, and my dad's just standing over me. Still can't guard against the right jab, can you? And that's how the Vietnam War ruined my first grade photos. Guys, I've been Ryan May.